Hey guys, so for the sake of time for this video, I had already cut these cardboard circles out, and what I used was my 10-inch pan and my 13-inch pan, and I just placed them onto the cardboard. I used the Sharpie, and then I traced it out with the X-Acto knife. Now you only need one of the small ones, and you also only need one of the larger ones, and this is just going to give some support for the wreath on the bottom, and then the smaller one will be support for the second tier of the diaper cake. So you can see here that this is going to be the bottom of the wreath. So I have here the 10-inch pan, and what we're going to do is we're going to make the actual diaper cake. So you're going to layer these, and what I'm doing here is I'm placing the front to the lip of the pan, and I'm just overlapping slightly the next diaper. You can see here as I zoom in, it's about from the tip of the first one to the tip of the second one, about an inch. And I'm just going to keep overlapping that, like shingling these diapers. And I'm just going to go really slow on this so you can see. It's actually quite hard to do this with the camera angle being in this position. So I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm just going to keep layering them or shingling them. And it's about, like I said, an inch to a half of an inch from the previous diaper that you have laid. And you're just going to go around the whole edge of the pan until you get to the other side. Now for this diaper cake that we're doing right now, this is going to be the bottom layer of the diaper cake, and it'll sit inside of the wreath on the bottom. You will need about 20 size 1 diapers and about 8 size 2 diapers. Now for this particular diaper cake, I'm not too worried about how it looks, if it's exactly perfect each layer, because this will be covered. In a different diaper cake, I'd be way more meticulous, but not so much on this one. Also, the front facing the yellow part of the diaper, the front of the diaper, is going to be hidden, so you don't have to worry about that, because the color of that will also be hidden. So the whole thing is going to be white. In this diaper cake, you're not even going to see that, but in a different diaper cake, if you were worried about that, it won't show because it'll be hidden by the diaper previously. So now you can see that I'm getting close to the end here. And so I'm just pushing it back just to make a little bit more room so I can add these last few diapers. You can see here now that the diaper that we just laid is now covering the first diaper that we laid. So I'm just looking around to see if there are any really big gaps. And so I see here, I'm just going to see that there's a little bit of a gap here, and then there's also, I think I can add one more diaper, possibly even 2 more diapers. And then I'm just going to reposition these diapers all the way around. Like I said, it's really difficult doing this in the angle that I was filming in. So it kind of almost looks like a pinwheel if you look at it. Now you're just going to stick your hand in the center, and you're going to push out to the sides to make room for the center. And I'm going to be using a size 2 diapers for the center. So you're going to do basically the same thing that you did with the outer diapers. And you're just going to shingle them going around. And I'll push the camera in so you can see a little bit better how I'm doing the center here. So see here, I have about an inch. I would think I'm going to push it just a little bit closer, just so I can fit a few more diapers in there. So I'm just going to keep going around with these size 2 diapers until it gets pretty tight. So it's gotten tight, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it, the diaper, so it's easier to fit in there, and I'm just going to push it down in. Now I'm going to take my paper towel holder and I'm going to push it all the way down to the bottom, make sure that there's no diapers interfering there. And then I'm going to take another size 2 diaper and I'm going to wrap it around the paper towel. Take another size 2 diaper and I'm going to overlap it from where the first diaper joins together. And so I'm just going to take an elastic band from here and I'm going to just make sure that that's secure. Now at this time you can plug in your glue gun to get it nice and hot. So you're going to slide the diapers higher up the paper towel roll and you're just going to stick the paper towel roll down in, and then we are going to push the diapers down in so it's tight and secure. Now I'm going to take some yarn and I'm going to wrap it around my pinwheel diapers, and I'm going to tie a bow tie and make sure that it's nice and tight. That way, when I take it out of the pan, it all holds together. Now I'm going to slide the paper roll down further so you can see about maybe 2-3 inches. And I'm going to take my large 13-inch round cardboard piece and we're going to take the paper towel roll and then we're going to glue the paper towel roll onto the cardboard piece. Now you just want to make sure that when you're putting it down that it's centered, and also that the diapers don't touch the bottom until it's nice and dry. So you just want to make sure that it's nice and dry. So for the sake of time, I already put the baby's breath on the wreath, but I'll show you later how I put the flowers on. Now we're going to mark off about 3 inches up with our marker, and then we're going to take the X-Acto knife and we're going to cut all the way around. Now let's work on the wreath. So like I said, I already put the baby's breath on. These are flowers that I bought at Michael's and they were 70% off. So it was $19.99 and then 70% off of that. This one was $7.99 and 70% off of that. This was $9.99 and it was 70% off of that. So really good deals there. Now I see that I have 4 of these really pretty, they look like peony flowers. So I'm going to use those, 1 in the front, 1 in the back, and then 2 on the sides. So what I'm doing with the leaves is I'm pushing it up, and then in that gap there I'm going to twist it around and push those other leaves up. Now you just slide it in, you're going to stick it in, and then the excess of the wire you're going to stick back into the wreath. Now the side flowers that I'm going to put on, I'm putting them more towards the back. That way we have more flowers that we can decorate with in the front. And you can see here the wires for the stem, I'm going to push back up into the wreath. Also, the front flower, I didn't stick all the way down. I kind of made it pop up a little bit, so it kind of gives it a little bit more dimension. I'm just checking to make sure that the wires are inside of the wreath. Now I'm going to add some more decorative flowers to the front sides of the wreath. That's why we wanted to make sure that those 2 side peonies we pushed back more towards the back so we can have more decorative flowers in the front. So a good rule of thumb is when you put 1 flower in on one side, you're just going to do the same thing to the other side. And then you just keep doing that. You put 1 flower in on one side and then the same flower on the other side. And you just kind of take a look back and you make sure that they are sort of equal on each side. So I saw that on both the right and left side, there's about one spot on each side that just needs one spray of baby's breath. So I'm just adding that in right there just to make it a little bit more fuller. So for some of these sprays like this one here, they have a few of them on each one, and I just want to make them a little bit shorter. So I went ahead and I just snipped a few off and I'm putting them in now. And we're working on the back side right now. So let me turn this around so you can see what the front of the wreath looks like, and this is what it looks like. Let's clean off our station, make sure it's nice and clean. And I just want to show you what it's going to look like with the wreath on. If you wanted to make a bigger pinwheel for the diaper cake, you can use the 13-inch pan, so you can make a bigger diaper wheel. But this one I wanted to make smaller so I can add all of these little accessories inside. Take the small 13-inch cardboard piece and mark off the center, and then you're going to align that with the paper towel roll. Now you're going to trace the diameter of the paper towel roll onto the cardboard piece. Now you just want to make sure that you have all of it around with your marker, and then you're going to take your X-Acto knife and you're going to cut out the center. Pop that out, and then you're going to pop the cardboard piece on top so you have more of a structured piece for the second tier of the diaper cake. Now this is the second tier, and you're going to do exactly what you did the first time for the bottom to the second tier. You'll use the 10-inch pan again, and you're also going to use 21 size diapers, and you'll use about 8 size 2 diapers for the center. So we're just going to make sure that we have a nice hole in there, and we're going to take the diapers and we're going to align it with the paper towel roll, and then we're just going to plop it right over it. And then we're going to take a string and we're going to tie around, and we're making a bow, and then we're going to stick that yarn underneath to hide it. Now let's take our 2 receiving blankets. We'll take one and we'll fold it in half, and then you're going to fold it again about 3/4 of the way down. We'll do it one more time. So this is another receiving blanket. You want to fold it in half once, then fold it down about 3/4 of the way. Let's take the wreath off, and we're going to put our receiving blankets on. We'll take one and we'll wrap it around, and we're going to take some small safety pins and we'll stick it through the yarn and through the receiving blanket and fasten it on there. You don't want to stick the safety pins through the diapers. You only want to stick it through the yarn. So just be careful you don't poke through the diaper. So let's take our other receiving blanket and we're going to cover that hole that's there, and we're going to wrap it around to the back side of the cake. And we're going to fasten this receiving blanket onto the receiving blanket that we just put on. Now making sure when I put the safety pins on that part that you clip the safety pin into, it is not showing. So I'm putting the safety pin in on the inside, that way you don't see it. So I just wanted to show you really quick what it looks like with the wreath on. It's starting to look really cute. I'm going to take that off in just a second, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like. And you'll see here that there's a little bit of a gap here, and that's totally fine because we're going to use a bib and we're going to use one of the outfits to cover the top of that. So I'm just taking off all the tags, and I'm going to put this cute headband on that came with one of the outfits onto the elephant, and I'm going to secure that with a safety pin. Now that little hook that was on the top of the elephant, I'm saving that for later when I feed through the yarn, and you can use a crochet hook if that works best for you. So that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to lift up the receiving blankets, cut about 36 inches of yarn, and you're going to feed that yarn through the top layer. So here I'm pulling up the receiving blankets, and I'm pushing that yarn through so it hits the paper towel roll. And I have one side, I'm using that hook that was on the stuffed animal, and I'm feeding that yarn up the inside of the diaper cake and the receiving blanket, and I'm doing that to the other side now. So I'm taking that yarn, placing it through the hook there, and then I'm just feeding it through the receiving blankets. And then I'm just going to take the pieces of yarn and I'm just going to push up on them just to make sure that they're tight. Put the receiving blankets back down. Now you're going to have a piece of yarn on each side. And I'm sorry about this angle, guys. It's really bad. So I'm sorry you couldn't see me do that. Now I'm placing the wreath back on, and you can see that I have a piece of yarn hanging there, and there's a piece of yarn on the other side. Here is that cute little baby outfit that I'm going to be putting on the top, and I'm just tucking it in so you don't see the edges of it. And this is the back side, and I'm going to tuck the outfit inside to the back side, make sure that it's nice and tight in there, and I'm going to secure that with some safety pins. And like I said before, make sure that you don't stick the safety pins into the diapers. You can secure the outfit with the receiving blanket. And now you can see here that I'm going to be adding this cute little bib, and I'm going to secure the bib with some safety pins. So some of the washcloth flowers that I made have this pretty coral in it, and I wanted to add some of that to the bottom wreath, so I'm just adding these flowers into the bottom wreath. Let's add our stuffed animal to the top. We're going to take one side of the yarn and we're going to wrap it to the front of the stuffed animal to the back, and then we're going to take the other side of the yarn and we're going to wrap it from the front to the back. You're going to pull it really tight, tie a bow, and stick the excess underneath the stuffed animal. Now what we are going to do is we're going to take a safety pin and we're going to secure the back end of the stuffed animal to the outfit that we put on, not the bib but the outfit. So if you haven't watched the video on how I make these washcloth flowers, I will put that link in the description box below. So I'm just taking one of these washcloths and I'm going to put it in the center, and I'm taking a safety pin and I'm attaching it to the stuffed animal. And I'm going to add one flower on each side, and I'm going to take a safety pin and I will attach the washcloth to the outfit and another safety pin and attach that to the receiving blanket. So I'm going to add the 2 more flowers in the back, and I'm going to add these little accessories in the back. Because remember in the beginning of the video I showed you that we had that gap? Well, this is where we're going to use that. We're going to put all these little accessories in the back. And we're going to attach this little elephant as well. So I was able to stuff that in there because we made a smaller cake. Let's add this cute little elephant. And that'll keep the stuffed animal from falling backward, and the flower in the front of the stuffed animal will keep it from falling forward. I'll just attach the elephant with some safety pins. I'm going to attach it to the actual elephant itself, his little butt. Now he's all safe and secure. I think I'll add just one more to the head so the head doesn't fall over, and I'll attach that to the other elephant as well. Now both of the elephants are secure. I'm going to add one last sprig in the front, and there we have it.